How's it going, everybody? I'm sorry with the over dramatic intro, but today we're going to be talking about people pleasing. So, I do commentary videos every single day to practice my speaking skills, and I speak around 10 minutes on a topic of my choosing. And today we are going to be talking about people pleasing. So, for context, I went to meet my psychologist or my psychiatrist this afternoon. And wait, I'm gonna close my door real quick. And you may be wondering why I am meeting a psychiatrist. What problems do I am I facing in my life? So I am someone with severe anxiety, a lot of social anxiety, and that has prevented me from going to school and prevented me from being able to fit in school. And so you can say I'm a sort of an outcast. But really, the skills that I have for socializing isn't like non-existent. I do have good skills for socializing. I'm I'm okay with talking with my friends, talking with people close enough that I don't feel nervous around. But talking to new people becomes a very hard task to do because I feel a constant tension in my head, and that prevents me from keeping the conversation for longer. But what if it comes down to socializing skills? I am pretty I'm pretty well prepared for that regard. So it's mainly my social anxiety and also general anxiety that causes me to have all this impairment in my life, and that is my biggest hurdle in my life. I've said this before, but it's my biggest challenge, biggest hurdle in my life. So why did I go over that? So I talked about like my current situation with my psychiatrist, trying to kind of just updating him on my current situation. And so if you don't know, a psychiatrist is a guy who's basically a psychologist that basically uh doesn't diagnose you but gives you medication to treat your problem, your mental problem or whatever problem it is. It could be dopamine imbalances, it could be depression, but basically, a psychiatrist is there to give you medication. Now, I don't know why I gave an explanation there, but for those who don't know, there you go. Um, but I was talking with my psychiatrist, updating him on my situation. So basically, what I said was, in the Chinese New Year holidays, I went to mainland China for snowboarding and blah 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 blah. And somehow we got into the topic of, oh, how did I feel the level did I feel a level of social anxiety when I was having the snowboarding lessons? I was having snowboarding lessons because I'm a beginner with snowboarding coaches, and every time you have a coach, you have a lesson, you have a different coach. So I had different lessons, I had different coaches, and every time some coaches would be a bit meaner, so I would be very on edge of trying to like not make these people piss off, like feel pissed off. I'm trying not to piss them off, right? And some coaches are really high standard. They're there, they have high expectations, and if you don't do well, they might just like insult you or something. But basically, it's because of the different types of coaches. They have different levels of tolerance, patience, and expectations, and that has caused me to try and people please them. And I try to like, maybe for the impatient guy, I would try and like be more polite to him, be more nicer, and try and go like, oh yeah 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 yeah, and then try and like not push his patience at all. And for the ones with high expectations, I try and do my best every single time, and it kind of stresses me out, and it prevents me from savoring the moment, basically. And because I'm so occupied with trying to people please these people. And then my psychiatrist told me, Chris, you're not here to people please people. You paid them to teach you snowboarding. They are there to provide you a service. You're not there to make them feel good. They're there to make you be better at snowboarding. And then it kind of clicked to me. Oh yeah, I'm paying them. Like so why am I so occupied with trying to people please them? So then he tells me also, when you talk to your psychologist, when you talk to me, the psychiatrist, don't people please us. Be very honest with us. Don't worry about our patience, our comfortability. Don't worry about if we're going to feel insulted or disappointed or angry or impatient. Like, don't worry about that. I'm paying them to help me. And then it kind of clicked to me, like, why am I people pleasing everybody? And then he went on to give more examples, like when you're going to school, you're not there to people please people. They are there to be your friends. And what do friends do? Like, so he came up with an example. He, for example, at lunch, complains to his friends all the time. What do they get from it? Nothing, except for listening to him complaining. But that's what friends are for, right? You're there for them. You're there to be with them. You're there, whether the good or bad, whether they're helping you, whether they're dumping, venting on you. You're there for them. That's the job of a friend. You're not there to people please these friends. You're you're not obligated to do that. And somehow, for people like me, my head is always occupied with trying to people please people. Like, I always want to make this person as tolerable of me as possible. So it kind of clicked to me, like, why am I doing this? I don't have to do this. I always want people to like me. I'm always so worried that people are going to be mean to me, that I want to people please them. But no, I don't have to do that, especially when I'm paying people or when I'm in an environment where people are supposed to be my friends, I'm supposed to fit in. So, yeah, it's kind of like, why am I doing this, right? There's no reason for you to people please people. And sometimes we don't even realize we're people pleasing people. You gotta, for the people who are also similar to me, who always want to people please other people, you gotta be conscious of how you're doing it. Cause like, it can take away the authenticity of the interaction. It can take away how sincere and genuine you're being towards people. Like, when you're pissed off, you gotta be honest about it. When other people have low tolerance, then don't interact with them. If other people have low patience, then don't interact less with them. You interact with people who are able to tolerate you. Because you know for a fact that you yourself there's nothing wrong about you. So then why do you have to feel guilty for being yourself? As a people pleaser, you're putting on an image for people, an image that is not entirely you. And so my psychiatrist told me, your job when it comes to psychological help, when it comes to psychiatry, my job is to be me, an honest, authentic self. My job is to be me. And then it kind of like, the realization kind of hit me, like, I haven't been me for so many occasions. I haven't been myself with people for a lot of the time. And then my psychologist also told me, like, sometimes there's a disconnection between who I am and who I am performing to be. For example, with my old friends, I might be a more performative version of myself, where I try to be more charismatic than I actually am, or crack jokes, force jokes out of myself to feel more likable. But Is that really me, or is that an exaggerated version of me? And on the polar opposite end, I am a very timid person at school because I'm so socially anxious. I feel like I'm holding in so much of myself, constantly holding in my personality, not letting a bit of personality out because I'm so afraid of judgment and I'm so afraid of embarrassing myself. And so what is that? I'm also people pleasing people by changing the image of myself. When and so what happens is you become different people. You have different images of yourself and you become different versions of yourself. And that's not a good thing. That becomes a disconnect of two polar opposite personalities of you, one very timid, one very active and open. And then you become like, which one is me? You start having self existential crisis, identity crises. You just start having identity crisis, plural. Um, and it just it fucks with your mind. It's really unhealthy, and if you really think about it, it sources from my people pleasing habit. And so yeah, it's 11 minutes now. I've talked a lot about people pleasing, identity, a lot of stuff. I haven't been my speaking tempo hasn't been really quick, but it's quick enough to keep up with my thinking process. And I think this is a perfect tempo for speaking. But of course, I really want to increase my speaking speed, um, just so that I can be more efficient and more condenseful of my words and sentences. And yeah, so yeah, that's the 10 minutes of speaking for you. um I've reflected a lot on the psychological help I was receiving. I reflected a lot on what I should be, how I should be changing, what I should be doing, the right things to do, how to behave. And yeah, it's a good way to reflect and reconsolidate the things that are important. And I'll see you guys next time with some, hopefully some more insight and with more concise and articulate ways of expressing it. So I'll see you guys next time.